Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Grudge. I used to be able to do that Grudge sound a lot better back in like 2004. The Grudge is a reboot of the 2004 film of the same name, which in fact was a remake from the same director who did the Japanese original. But it is a reboot only by name, as we tell a completely different story this time around. In the events that do tie in to the original, a curse is brought over from Japan and haunts a house from owner to owner, consuming all those that enter. When a new detective gets hooked into the mystery of it all, she soon finds out the haunting details behind the murders. So I actually thought the previews looked okay for this film. The cast certainly had me intrigued. Lin Shaye, Jackie Weaver, John Cho. But let's be real. Many of us were thinking, a remake of The Grudge? What's the point? And guess what? You'll be leaving the theater thinking, what's the point? Because, whew, yeah. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I'll say there is more plot here than the 2004 Sarah Michelle Gellar film, as well as the Japanese original. There's more here. I don't actually know that that's a positive, but there you have it. If you wanted more plot out of the Sarah Michelle Gellar film, it's here. And there are a couple of moments that build up just enough tension to have some fun with. What follows, we'll talk about in the negatives, but there were some shining moments of could be potential. And I will say Lin Shaye is a positive for me. She gives this like delightfully over the top performance that is a little bit manic, a little bit crazy, and just the kind of energy this film needed throughout. Unfortunately, her part is rather small, but when she's on screen, at least there's some fun to be had. And that's about it because this film was quite the mess. So let's go ahead and talk about the negatives. Well, the biggest negative for me is that yes, we added more story, but we sucked out any logic or actual mythology that made any sort of sense. This movie makes no sense. Under its own premise, under its own rules, it's nonsensical. When you're trying to follow what is happening or the motivation or what exactly this angry curse possession being is and why they do what they do or what is going on, it just doesn't make any sense or logic, and they try to add that in and try to establish rules but can't seem to follow them at all, ever. Not to mention the structure is set up like a police procedural mystery, and I have no idea why they chose to do this. We spend about half of the film in flashback form with one family or another, and there's really no need for that, first of all. And there's no need for a procedural cop mystery horror film here because there's no mystery. We're following a police case in which we know right from the get go, we know who the perp is, we know who's guilty, and there's no need for this mystery, and it ultimately leaves this film being so boring. It just drags. There is nothing scary about this movie. I don't think there is a single scare here. It is full of the cheapest kind of jump scares you can put into a horror film, and they're horribly executed. I mentioned those kind of cool tension building moments that happen like twice throughout the film. They end up in a ridiculous jump scare, which has the like kind of visual effects with horrible CGI or not so great makeup on these characters. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. And our actors, I mean, this was a paycheck gig. John Cho is okay in the film, but Jackie Weaver phoned this in if I've ever seen a phoned-in performance. I mean, she basically just showed up to the set, read her lines, ran out the door. I don't like to pick on kids, but this was a really poor children's performance in here as well. The scariest parts of The Grudge itself, obviously, were that little girl, that noise, but it was the atmosphere. There was at least a good layer of atmosphere that added to just the creepiness of it all, and that has made it stick around as long as it has in the subconscious. This film has no atmosphere, zero, zilch. It's also ugly. It just is shot so poorly. The cinematography is just gross. And they cut away for editing to give us just like really gross looking shots for no reason. Again, it makes no sense. It has no purpose. So The Grudge 2020 is a reboot literally nobody asked for, and once you leave the theater, it's the reboot nobody wanted to watch because this is just a mess. It sucked any of the good that the original films had in them and just threw it straight in the trash and delivered this shell of a movie. So if you are a die-hard horror fan, give this a rental. Otherwise, just skip it altogether. Don't even need to pay rental prices to see this one. Not really worth it. So that is my review of The Grudge. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Grudge? Or have you already seen it? If you have, what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts on both the Japanese original as well as the 2004 remake? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!